I'm really excited about tonight and the launch of the Seasons of Healing, the introduction. This is an effort to build on the themes of sound and vibration, of cymatics and cymotherapy, the AMI devices for healing. And I want to introduce you to some core concepts from the ancient wisdom keepers of how we can connect sound healing with the stars and the seasons to build on our health and longevity. There are so many, they're really not secrets, but we find there, like, where has this information been? We're so grateful that a lot of the texts are now being translated and available in English. And so I'm really grateful to all of those people, all of those scholars who are spending their time learning these ancient languages and then bringing the knowledge forth for us, and how we can connect the dots to help ourselves as we navigate through this life's journey here on the planet Earth. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Chinese medicine, it is one of the two oldest medical systems that is still in existence today. It dates back over 5,000 years. And by becoming aware of the concepts that have been passed down through various traditions, we can garner this wisdom and use it for our own benefit to, especially when it comes to health, our physical health, our mental, emotional health, and how we operate in our world, in our environment, and really to study their philosophy and their concepts. We can connect many of the waves of health that are available to us, whether we're conscious of them or not. So many of you have heard of how I invented the AMI devices, the acoustic meridian intelligence devices, and this is based on these ancient traditional concepts and principles, and how the five frequencies that are playing simultaneously benefit us in a plethora of ways. Well, these five frequencies I learned early on when I was studying with Dr. Manners, that they really correlate to the five elements and the five seasons in Chinese medicine, and actually in Ayurveda also. But this particular these sessions that we're going to be together with in the coming weeks are really dedicated to how we connect with the Chinese wisdom keepers and their information. So in the past few sessions of the Soundflower Experience community, I shared with you about the Wang Cheng, the yellow bell. This is the cosmic hum from the Taoist Chinese tradition, where the sound is that sonorous event that manifests all of creation. And from this inaudible sound of the yellow bell, Wang Cheng, there comes a propagation of more sound, of 12 more sounds that are inaudible. And yet those 12 sounds come into another almost audible of 12 more tones that we can hear with our equipment that we have in space now, with the all of the modern technology that NASA is using. We can hear the sounds of the planets and of the stars. And so this Wang Chung from the cosmic hum, the 12 more tones and breaking into 12 more tones, all of these tones then correlate to the 12 meridian system of the planet Earth, because we do have meridian lines all throughout the Earth where they connect in very powerful vortexes. And they also correlate to the 12 meridians within the human body. So there's this amazing connection between our physical bodies and our environment of the cosmos where we live. There's this communication system that we have with the stars and the planets. So the ancients observed all of creation. And this is the documentation that has been passed down. I mean, these um, texts are written on pieces of wood and leaves, little caricatures of how all is correlated, how is related. And so some of the first observations that are written down are of the constellations of the sky, and that there are 28 main constellations. And the ancient observers identified 5 wanderers in the sky, traveling the sky, 5 wanderers, and these are the 5 planets that are visible to us in our stellar system. And so these are like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And they actually connected these to each of the fingers, each of our digits. And in a little while, Kate's going to show us some beautiful hand gestures that we can activate through those meridian systems and activate those planets. And I want you to know that I want you to be really excited about these connections. You're not going to be tested on this. You don't have to retain this information if you don't want. There's no final quiz, but I want you to have this information, because once you even just digest it a little bit in passing, the connection that you will receive when we get into the experience of watching the Soundflowers and with this information will open amazing portals of awareness for you. And it does for all of us. Every time I do these experiences, I reap more benefits. So I'm just really excited to share this with you and how each of these can benefit our health and longevity. So, and we'll delve more into the 5 planets, the 5 frequencies, the 5 seasons in the coming sessions. The 5 elements that we are going to talk about are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And these elements each have their own season that they have sort of dominion over. And so right now, we're in the wood element. We've just come into the wood element. And the wood season is really easy to identify because it's like the spring. So the color of the wood season is green, and the organ systems that are related to the wood system are the liver and gallbladder system. And so if you think about this in this particular time where the spring flowers are coming into bloom, my mother says there's no green like spring green. It is just in a class of its own. And this is a time when all of if there are any leaves that were left over from the last season, the trees and the bushes and the flowering plant, they've dropped all of that. They've cleaned them out. And so we move into this energy of regeneration and rejuvenation. It's a time to rejuvenate. And I remember my grandmother, she used to get the herbal tonics for us to tonify everything and for the spring. And so you may have heard of some people doing cleanses where they use dandelion leaves and all of those bitter greens. And those are so great for us to clean out the liver gallbladder system and bring it back into a vibratory rate that's really beneficial for us going forward as we get into the next season. So there is this concept. If you don't honor the season that we're in, then when we get to the next season, you won't be prepared. So what we want to do right now is garner all of the things, all of the techniques, all of the tools that we become aware of to help us with balance and harmony so that we can move into the next season, which will be the fire summer season. So we're ready for that. And as an example, I will just go back to the past season that we just came from, which is our water season, the winter season. So if we didn't nurture ourselves, and I'm not going to get into the details of that right now, but if we missed out on that, then we actually start the wood season with a little bit of a deficit. So today we're going to talk about the spring cleaning. A lot of you have the concept of cleaning out your houses and cleaning out the refrigerator, cleaning out the closets. We have the spring cleaning, and it's the same with the AMI device. So for those of you who have the AMI device, channel 5 really helps to tonify the organs. And so we'll talk about a little bit of how to use that for tonifying the liver, gallbladder. But right now, what I'd like to do is have Kate come on and talk about the stars in the planetary system, because there's a lot going on right now in the cosmos. We just had the equinox, so now we have the longer days. We have stars and planets that are moving into very specific configurations, and they actually activate us in certain ways. And so anyway, I'm going to turn the mic over to Kate now and have her tell us about the spring arc that you may have read about in our recent newsletter. So please welcome Kate.
So I first want to say I love thinking about the ancient people standing outside and gazing up into the heavens and determining the influence of the planets and the stars. And we know all this ancient knowledge is given to us after they did long years of observance, and they were so in tune to the earth back then. But for right now, we're going to talk about the spring arc. And so in our world at this time, if you look up into the sky, there are 3 extremely bright stars that our astronomers tell us are the spring arc. Now, actually, I want to give you a few fun facts about each of the stars, and then we'll get into how we access their energy and the greatness that they give us. So first of all, the first star in the spring arc is Spica. So Spica actually means ear of wheat, and it is the brightest star in Virgo. And we love this because it brings up thoughts about the goddess Demeter and harvesting and the great creative force on the earth. So we love Spica. And so you can look into the sky, and with a little guidance, I think, with one of those apps that tells you what star is what. So Spica is in the constellation Virgo, if you want to look for that. Then secondly, I want to talk to you about Arcturus. So Arcturus is an orange giant. And so this star is eventually going to get so big that it's going to engulf all the other planets around it. So stars do have this potential. And so I'm glad that we're studying Arcturus a little bit, because when you find out all the meanings around it, we will be able to take this greatness into our being. And then the last of the 3 stars is Regulus. And so one of the reasons I was excited about this is because it is considered one of the 14 stars of the Yellow Emperor. Now I want Mandara to tell us just a couple of things about the Yellow Emperor.
The Yellow Emperor, some say that he's a mythological figure, but they are now discovering that he actually lived 2700 BC. And he is noted for organizing all of this information, that he actually had only very calm and balancing music playing in his court. to keep everybody very at a high vibration. And if anyone wanted to act out or dance to an unfriendly tune, they were actually sent to the outer regions of the kingdom so they could be in that environment, and then they would come back when they had sort of sown their oats. But the Yellow Emperor, again, his name is Wang Neijing, and again, Wang is yellow, is gold, and so he's like the sun. They saw the emperor as the sun, the center of the universe, from the emperor, and so this is spiritually as well. So he's a spiritual leader, and he's exhibiting all of this abundance and generosity and great benevolence. And what's really interesting when we talk about him, he's the father of acupuncture and Oriental medicine. And he would say that when we see the acupuncture meridians in a person, if they're all flowing free and balanced, they sparkle like stars. So when we're looking at these images, you might close your eyes and see your finer body with all those acupuncture meridians shining like little stars.
So you can see why I was fascinated with the star, because I knew about the Yellow Emperor. And so I wanted to understand why this was one of his 14 stars. And I wanted us to be able to access some of that energy. So I think we all would agree that starlight, moonlight, sunlight, these are all forms of nectar. Nectar, that's what I like to think of it as. And so I want to share with you now a gesture, a mudra, that I like to call the nectar catcher. So it's actually a mudra, a lotus mudra, if you're studying from a yogic standpoint. But here is what we need to do now. So we're going to start off with our hands like this, and then we're really going to spread the fingers out. And then we're going to pull the palms of the hands away. So what you end up with are your pinky fingers and your thumbs tight together, and you have something that looks like a blossom, that looks like a flower. So this is a mudra. And so whenever you're going to go outside, for example, you could take this mudra and hold it up, and this would be the way that you would catch the starlight or the moonlight. And then also some people like to hold it on their third eye place to help you engage a visionary approach to this. But in a little bit, we're going to hold this lotus at our hearts like this whenever we're doing our star meditations, which are going to come up in just a minute or so. So now I told you a few facts about the 3 stars in the spring arc, but now I would like to tell you about their all of their attributes. And so when you hear me talk about it in just a minute, you can pick and choose. You can say, oh yes, right now I really need some creativity. Yes, right now I really need some intellectual prowess. Or when you hear the words, you'll be able to resonate with what I'm saying. Now, here's the exciting part. So, of course, Mandara has star sound images. She has a whole bunch of favorite ones. So I asked her to pick out her 3 favorites, and then we would put one of these star images up while I read to you all the attributes of Spica. Then this, instead of us doing the Soundflower experience, we're just going to look at the image. And so this kind of meditation, you can look at it with your eyes open for a few seconds, and then maybe you want to close your eyes and see if you can still see the image. That's when we know we're being successful, when you can still see it with your eyes closed. Meantime, just let my voice kind of flow over you so you hear the words and you're not really attached to it, but you are indeed enjoying the star image, which Mandara is going to put up right now, I think.
Well, I'm getting this. I would like to share that this is the day of the solar eclipse. And it is well known that on solar or on eclipses, it's a wonderful time for meditation.
And for new beginnings. That's one of the reasons we picked this date to start up with you, because we felt it would be auspicious.
Righty. Are you able to see that?
Okay, everyone. So you're going to gaze into the image for a few seconds, noticing its star shape. And then I'm going to share with you the influences of Spica that you may be under. First, eloquence. Second, creativity. Third, you may become very clever. Fourth, you may find your artistry. Fifth, you may be able to truly have pleasure and love. And you will be high-minded and successful. So now we are consciously accepting all of what we need from this particular beautiful Spica star. So you can use your lotus flower at your heart while you're receiving this nectar. Remember to see it with your eyes open and see it with your eyes closed. And then we're going to close those flower petals gently. Just hold them at your heart like a prayer, hands at your heart, as we complete our Spica communion. Perfect. So now we're going to move on to Arcturus. So remember we said Arcturus is the giant, orange giant star with tons of energy, which is just going to get bigger and bigger. I think this image is perfect for Arcturus. You can see all around the outer edges. Mandara says it looks like there are trumpets along the outer edges. So we're enjoying this beautiful image for just a moment. Remember to see it with your eyes open and see it with your eyes closed. Then we're going to be open to receive. So you can take your mudra at your heart again, open your flower petals to receive the nectar. So with Arcturus, Arcturus bestows riches, riches of all kinds. Great honors for the work done in life. Self-determination. So with Arcturus, this planet holds the safe evolutionary unfoldment and the ascension of Earth and humanity. Each of us here is taking part in the safe evolutionary unfoldment and ascension of the Earth and humanity. The star bestows spiritual awareness. If you meditate upon the star outside, you will have the development of intuition. Receive the nectar. See it with your eyes open. See it with your eyes closed. Enjoy the feeling of the nectar around your heart. And then we're going to close gently your flower petals at your heart. Perfect. And now we're going to give our attention to the third star, which we said was Regulus. So fascinating to me, Regulus is actually 4 stars. So when we're looking in the sky, we just see one, but it's actually 4 stars. And these are considered the 4 stars of the archangels. So of course, we're excited to access this kind of power. And so Mandara is going to give us now the image for Regulus. All right, so with Regulus, what we're hoping for is to receive the healing power from the star itself, but to also be able to dispense it to others. So let's make our lotus, make our nectar catcher, so that we can receive, so much healing from Regulus. So we know the Archangel Raphael is the one we look toward for the greatest healing power in the study of angels. If you like, when your eyes are closed, you can see multiples of this star because there are 4. This star is also known as the star in the breast of the lion. So perhaps lions have great symbolism for you. Or viewing your own personal power to heal as great as a lion. See the star image with your eyes open and see it clearly with your eyes closed. Now we can close our lotus flowers, and we're going to take a few minutes to let all of this energy circulate. Decide where the nectar has come into your being the most. Your heart, your solar plexus. Did it come directly to your third eye? The power of the star light can reflect in your voice. The star light connects us directly to the universe and to each other. So together we affirm that we have received nectar from Spica, from Arcturus, and from Regulus. And all that's reflected in the imagery is just inside of us. So now we're going to open our eyes gently and make a promise to each other that we'll go outside and look for these amazing stars. So, thank you so much for sharing in that most auspicious, beautiful time with Mandara and I. And we want to bring our time with you to a close so that you can continue to enjoy your meditation and the stars.
Thank you, Kate, for sharing about the spring arc. So we're using cymatics as a portal here, and I will send all of you the replay of this session so that you can enjoy the cymatic images. They, like the stars, emit infrared light, which communicates with us at a cellular level and truly beneficial. And of course, the anchor of the mudra, the flower mudra, is really a great way to strengthen that connection. So I thank all of you for joining us for this, and look forward to our next session, which we will send out a notice very soon about. So thank you very much.
Thank you.